Limerick Schools Board of Education, meeting number 1523 is now called to order. Dr. Lake, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jennifer, second by Karen. We're meeting virtually, so all votes are by roll call. So Mike Shammy, yes. Karen Schuster?
Yes.
Matt Alonso?
Yes.
Christy Watts?
Yes.
Jennifer Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Mike Tishless?
Yes.
And Dr. Kathy Carla Laurent.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Now we'll move to our Pledge of Allegiance, so stand, those who are able. And I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, brief announcement. In order to meet the current St. Louis County guidelines, we are meeting in a socially distanced environment here at the school environment with the cabinet and board members only in order to reduce the spread of COVID-19. This meeting will be posted via the district's YouTube channel. Agenda item 4.0 is our special recognitions. This month we're recognizing Kennerly Elementary School. We've recorded the video of those recognitions, which we posted online following the meeting or as soon as possible. So I'd like to thank Principal DeAndre Thomas and all the honorees from Kennerly Elementary. And Dr. Lake and I plan to visit the school and deliver their awards in person later on this week. So let's congratulate all the honorees from. That being said, we'll move to 5.0 special resolutions and commendations. We have no items there. 6.0 citizen comments regarding agenda items. Since we're not able to be present with our citizens at this meeting, as noted in board docs, we're taking comments via email to boe@limerickschools.ws. So any comments that are delivered via email will be responded to in writing following this meeting. We'll move to 7.0, which is communications. 7.01, calendar of events. Mr. Secretary, will you please review the calendar of events?
Yes. So we have some parent speaker series coming up. December 9th is a speaker series on COVID-19. It'll be on Zoom. A gifted speaker series on December the 14th will be on Zoom as well at 7 p.m. And then a Lindbergh parent speaker series about college application and career exploration and scholarship, 6:30 on Zoom on December 15th. We have some orchestra concerts coming up. They will be all on YouTube, December 18th, 21st, and 22nd. As a reminder, first semester ends on December 23rd. There will be no school that day for K through 12. The ECE will be also closed, and it will be a records day for teachers. December 24th through January 3rd will be winter break, so no school and district offices will be closed. And then pending board approval tonight, January 5th and 6th will be teacher workshop days with school resuming on January the 7th. And that takes us up to the regular Board of Education meeting on January 12th.
All right, great, thank you. 7.02 is report of meetings. This is where it gives the board members an opportunity to report on any meetings, parent group, otherwise that they've attended that pertain to district business, whether virtual or in person. So if anyone has any meetings they'd like to report on, do that.
I attended the SSD Governing Council meeting last night. We met virtually. They had a revised budget for approval due to the formula funding for this year. They have a 2.8 million decrease in revenue, and currently they had 900,000 in expenditures increase, and that was for purchasing new curriculum, new Chromebooks. They added a director of health services to oversee their nurses, and some transportation things. We also heard updates on their CSIP and the progress they're doing on meeting the Public Review Committee recommendations. Their presentations for that are on their board docs if you're interested in viewing it. And then finally, the SSD Board of Education position for our subdistrict, which we're subdistrict 5, will be open and the election is in March. So we're looking at people to run. Thanks.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to comment on the speaker series. I attended the dyslexia one and then the listening and learning, of course. And I just think it's a great idea. So it gives, the sessions have been, well, like the topics are great. And I think it's a way for us to keep connected with what's going on. So I really like those.
And I think there's been a lot of positive feedback regarding those for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll move to 7.03, which is announcements. Mr. Secretary, you have something regarding the board elections?
Yes, so there are 2 seats on the Board of Education that are coming up for re-election. They are the seats of Vice President Karen Schuster and President Mike Shamia. Those seats, if you are interested in filing for those seats, you can apply on December the 15th. That's next Tuesday. Filing is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and filing will continue until January the 19th of 2021. Order on the ballot will happen if you file on the first day, December the 15th, and candidates who file on that day will pick out of a hat a randomly drawn number which will determine their order on the ballot. If you are interested in filing, contact Dr. Lake's secretary here at central office. Social distancing and masks must be worn at all times if you come in to file.
Perfect, thank you. And also in regards to that, there's a board meeting regarding, it's basically a board information, candidate information meeting that will be held Monday, December 14th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. And that's where board members will discuss what it means to serve on the school board, provide some information on sort of how the board functions, and provide some feedback on, their experience maybe serving on the board and what they think, serving on this board, the qualities that you need to bring to the board and maybe what it's all about, basically. So that'll be Monday at 6:30, and that'll be posted on the board docs as well. 7.04, review of upcoming Board of Education meeting agendas. Back to you.
Yeah, so we will be meeting again on January the 12th. We'll have a board workshop from 4:30 to 6:30, and then our regular board meeting at 7 o'clock that evening. Some things that we'll be discussing, that we'll have a first reading of our special education program evaluation that night.
All right, thank you. 7.05, we have no Board of Education member appointments. 7.06 is where we would normally show our MSBA report. We're not showing that, but we invite you to click on the link in board docs to view this month's report. We'll move to 8.0, which is special reports. 8.01 is our cabinet updates. So we'll start with Joelle. I don't think there's a facilities meeting, but there was a finance meeting, correct?
Yes, we had our Thursday before the board meeting, finance committee meeting. December's kind of a light month for finance. We're well into the new year and approaching work for the next fiscal year. Our finance topic for the month was fund balance, which we just watch fund balance closely at this time of the year because, as you know, most of our revenue is from local taxes. And we did receive an advance on the local property taxes on Friday. And so that's where we always watch for that to hit in December, because we get the largest part of our revenue in December and January, and then we have to just pretty much live on that most of the rest of the year. So that was about it.
All right, thank you. Brian, anything on human resources?
EHR committee met via email this month, so we sent out the report and took questions as they were sent in, if there were any. And we'll meet again in January as scheduled.
All right, thank you. and Tara, for your student life, technology, and teaching and learning. I think those all met, right?
They did. Student life, we are focusing on the student experience through an equity lens. So we brought a draft of questions that can be used as a decision-making matrix for when we want to institute a new program or an initiative to look through that equity lens. So we spent the meeting discussing, are those questions appropriate, relevant, how do we revise those to make them something that we can use universally as a district. So we've updated that draft, and then we'll continue to fine tune that as a tool that we can use throughout our decision-making processes. For technology, we reviewed Securely Home and the offerings that it has for families. As a reminder, Securely is our web filtering system, so not only does it provide us the opportunity to block inappropriate websites for our students, but it also helps us through an auditor program to monitor student activity for concerns around self-harm and then notify families based on that. So there's also a Securely Home feature that we have not yet rolled out to families that allows families to have a multitude of different access to see what their children are doing on Lindbergh provided devices. And through the Technology Board Advisory, we really decided that the activity feed would be our first step in getting parents enrolled in that and understanding what that looks like. So we're in the process right now of developing communication that can go out between now and the end of the semester so that we can put that into effect for second semester. And then finally, teaching and learning. I'm going to take you back a couple of years. If you remember, Student Life worked on a document called Lindbergh Life, which was all about social emotional learning in that framework. We are in the process of expanding that document to include all success measures that we would want to see students have prior to graduation that would help them with workplace readiness. And so it would include social emotional learning, but it would expand into areas like the 4 C's as well and become one cohesive document that really is the success skills that we want to see our students have. So we revised a first draft of that expansion and then are continuing to go through that process. We'll take that to our Lindbergh Learning team. We'll also take it to our Portrait of a Graduate task force as a feedback loop, but we have a really strong draft as a result of Teaching and Learning Board Advisory.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll move now to 9.0, which is action items by consent. We have items 9.01 to 9.16. Would anyone like to remove any item for individual consideration? Okay, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve action items 9.01 through 9.16 as presented by consent?
So moved.
Okay.
All right. Moved by Kathy, second? Or
By
was it
me.
Mike? Yeah. Motion by Mike and second by Kathy? All right. Thank you. So now we'll open it for discussion or questions on these items. All right. Nothing? We'll go to a roll call vote. Mike Shamia, yes. Karen Schuster?
Yes.
Matt Alonso?
Yes.
Christy Watts?
Yes.
Jennifer Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Mike Tishless?
Yes.
And Dr. Kathy Kellogg-Lorenz.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 7-0. 10.0 individual action items. We have 10.01, which is summary of revisions of the LHS Navigator for 2021-22 school year.
All right, so what we have here is the Navigator for the high school. You'll notice that we have one additional course, honors chemistry, that we are using to increase the rigor of our science scope and sequence. So that's something that has been a focus over the last couple of years, is how do we continue to work towards college readiness, workplace readiness for our students. The other changes that you'll see here are really highlighting some of the areas that we have already put into development, but just strengthening them within the Navigator. So reinforcing co-pilot and CAPS programming, and then within our virtual course offerings, adding in ARC, our own accelerated and remote classes, virtual programming that is still very much in development for next year, but at least highlights that process of how students would engage in it as they're making decisions for the 21-22 school year. The other thing that's not noted here that I think is worth pointing out is we did add the internships class last year. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we were really unable to make that class work because sending students out into a workplace, many of whom wanted to do health-related internships, was not going to be feasible this year. So there is obviously the goal of going back and building that program as we go into next year as well.
All right, thank you. So do I have a motion to approve the summary revisions to the LHS Navigator for the 2021-22 school year as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Jennifer, second, we'll give that to Christy. Now we'll open it up for questions or comments. Any questions for Tara? Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mike Shammy, yes. Karen Schuster?
Yes.
Matt Alonso?
Yes.
Christy Watts?
Yes.
Jennifer Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Mike Tishless?
Yes.
And Dr. Kathy Collier-Corinth.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. 11.0 reports, we have none this month. 12.0 citizen comments, these are regarding non-agenda items. So again, we don't have the opportunity to have our citizens present. So any comments should be emailed to boe@lindberghschools.ws, and we will respond in writing following this meeting. We will move to 13.0, which is recess. We've already conducted our executive session, so there's no need for a recess, so we can move to 15.0, which is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn regular meeting number 1523?
So moved.
Motion by Matt. Second by Karen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Meeting number 1523 is adjourned.